but it's a class action lawsuit against all machines and that they're defective devices, okay? I have lawyers worked on this for 5 months.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
Look, talk about education. I propose that what we take is those very poor schools, the Title I schools, triple the amount of money we spend for $15 to $45 billion a year. Give every single teacher a raise to the equal raise of getting out of the $60,000 level. Number two, make sure that we bring in to help the teachers deal with the problems that come from home. The problems that come from home, we have one school psychologist for every 1,500 kids in America today. It's crazy. The teachers are I'm married to a teacher. My deceased wife is a teacher. They have every problem coming to them. We have to make sure that every single child does in fact have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds go to school, not daycare, school. We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there. There's so much, I'm going to go like the rest of them do, twice over.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those votes were put there a number of hours before.
They weren't coming because they couldn't get in. Once they think they can get in, they're coming, and they are coming at levels that you haven't even seen yet. And then they have cans of soup. And they
but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Our leaders are dumb. That our leaders are dumb. 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 Our leaders are dumb.
People coming over with bags, big bags of soup. and they lay it in the ground,
So
and the
dumb.
anarchists take it and they start throwing it
But
at our
the
cops, at our
real problem is that our
It hits you,
leaders
that's
are
worse than a
dumb.
brick because it's got force.
Dumb.
The perfect size. It's
So dumb.
and when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
At the same time, the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind.
They're coming all over the place.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Should we have done that sooner?
We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it.
Dumb people, liberal people can.
Hello, users! Is this... Fuck. Is this thing on... Hello? Hello, user! Oh, fuck. Hello, user. Shit. Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the show. Got a show going, doing the Above It All 1497. It's happening. I'm here. You're here, or you're not here. Or you're not here. And you're watching a video. You could be watching a video, or you could be watching a live stream. That's crazy. Like, to me, it's the same, right? Because I'm streaming, and you know, but for me, it's the same. But for you, it could be anything. Top Damage Wizard. This is a bit. You hide it so bad. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But anyway, got a show going on, doing a show. We got Max the dog. Max the dog, where are you? Maxie! Maxie, come here. Max! Come on! We got a freaking snow dog. This guy's got his paws full. You got your paws full! Oh, this doggy. You can't see him, but he's right here. You might be able to hear the dog. Snow doggy. Okay. All right, y'all. Got a show going on. Doing a program today. Today is gonna get comfortable. Okay. Just trying to hydrate. So anyway, hold on. So, this just came out. Oh, wait, wrong one. Hold on. So, this just came out. The 2020 census had big undercounts of black people, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is, according to NPR. Now, I just want to say, who could have possibly seen this coming? Right? It's almost like them going through the court system with all these, like, citizenship questions and all that, and then there's a pandemic going on, and they underfunded the census trackers during the pandemic. Does anyone remember? Who could have possibly seen this coming? Well, everyone that was following the news at the time. The 2020 census continued a long-standing trend of undercounting black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, while overcounting people who identified as white and not Latino. According to estimates from a report the U.S. Census Bureau released Thursday, Latinos with a net undercount rate of 4.99%, aka 5%, were left out of the 2020 census at more than 3 times the rate of a decade earlier. Among Native Americans living on reservations, 5.64%, and black people, 3.30%. The net undercount rates were numerically higher, but not statistically different from the 2010 rates. People identified as white and not Latino were overcounted at a net rate of 1.64%, almost double the rate in 2010. The Asian Americans were also overcounted, 2.62%. The Bureau said based on its estimates, it's unclear how well the 2020 tally counted Pacific Islanders. The long-awaited findings come from a follow-up survey the Bureau conducted to measure the accuracy of the latest head count of people living in the U.S., which is used to redistribute political representation and federal funding across the country for the next 10 years. Why is it that this is like a 10-year thing, by the way? Why isn't this like 5 years, or like why can't we do it like once a year? Why can't we like fucking do the census on the blockchain or something? Like, this should be easy, man. 10 years? How is it possible to undercount? Why can't someone just like send in, oh, I never got censored or census, you know, like no one ever told me to sign up for the census, so I'm sending it in late, and then they count it. I don't like this is like, we're living like there's computers, motherfucker. Like, we live in the year of 2022. This is not, you know, 1789, okay, motherfucker? I don't, like, this is so ridiculous to me. Other estimates the Bureau released on Thursday revealed that the most recent census followed another long-running trend of undercounting young children under age 5. COVID and Trump administration's meddling hurt the count's accuracy. This is what they were going for, regardless of whether or not the citizen question was constitutional or not. It was ultimately decided that it wasn't. It freaked enough people out. Again, all they're going for, it's less about the law, it's less about even enforcing the law, and more about enforcing, fear in people. That's what this is about. While the Bureau's stated goal is to count everyone once, only once, and in the right place, miscounts have come with every census. Some people are counted more than once at different addresses, driving overcounts, while U.S. residents missing from the census fuel undercounting. Disruptions from the coronavirus pandemic and interference by former President Donald Trump's administration raised alarms about the increased risk of the once-a-decade tally missing swaths of the country's population. Isn't that crazy? Right? Like, okay, so we know the census is going to be once every 10 years. If you just have a Republican in the White House, fuck it. You just fuck with the census, and then the country's fucked for 10 years. Like, just think, why is our system like this? The Constitution is so fucking stupid. It's so dumb. Okay, so you're telling me we got a Republican president, they know they could just fuck with the census, and then no one's going to do anything for 10 years. Oh, well, the census was fucked with. Are you going to go back and redo it? Well, no, we can't do it. That doesn't work like that. So you're telling me you could just fuck with the census, maybe worst case scenario, you pay a fine. Not even happening in this sense. The Census Bureau knows that the census is fucked up. Even the Census Bureau knows that the census is fucked up. How is that possible? How the Census Bureau knows that the census was fucked up and they can't do anything for 8 more years. What? Is this a joke? Is this a joke? This is our country. This is in the year 2022. I could make up a fucking Minecraft server with a better goddamn governmental apparatus than this fucking shit. Lord have goddamn mercy. During the news conference announcing the follow-up survey results, Census Bureau Director Robert Santos, who before becoming the agency's head told Bloomberg City Lab that he believed the census was being sabotaged during the Trump administration to produce results that benefit Republicans, acknowledged an unprecedented set of challenges facing the Bureau over the last couple of years. Many of you, including myself, voiced concerns. How could anyone not be concerned? These findings will put some of those concerns to rest and leave others for further exploration, Santos, a Biden administration appointee, said during the news conference announcing the follow-up survey results. The Bureau said previously it believes that the census results are fit to use for reallocating each state's share of congressional seats and electoral college votes, as well as redrawing voting districts. Okay, so they undercounted everyone except white people. But yeah, we're fit to use them. What? What? I just like, I can't. You can read the rest of this if you'd like, but I can't. It's so ridiculous. I mean, this country that we live in is just so stupid. It's really dumb. Really fucking stupid. Hopefully everyone's having a good day today. It's fucking goddamn snowing outside. Okay, so I have a question. When the fuck did it become Friday? I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I barely remember this week. I don't even know what happened. I can't even tell you what happened yesterday. Look, I can't tell you what happened on Monday. I have no fucking, like, what is going on here? It is Friday? Oh, I gotta move my foot. Oh my god. Why is it Friday? And when? When does Friday happen? Because last time I checked, Friday happened after Thursday, and there's no way yesterday was Thursday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Hold up. Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah! Huh? Little, I'm trying my best here. When the fuck... I don't even know. Oh. When is the last time y'all lost track of days of time? It's legit scary. I do all the time because I don't leave the house. I don't leave the house, and all of my days are the same, and I work every day. So, for me, they all blend together. Anyway, got a show going on, doing a show today. Doing a show. What the fuck? Okay, okay, so I was, folks, new segment. So new segment coming. A new variety, a new kind. A new kind of segment. I don't know if y'all are ready, but there's a new kind of segment coming. And it's not coming right now. It's going to come in a little bit. Little bit. Not yet, but it will be coming. Actual chunks of time just plain missing is legit terrifying. Luckily, okay, so this is a fascination with me. So let me riff on this. Okay. So, in my opinion, so now again, I do a lot of drugs. So in my opinion, there is no such thing as the present. I think the present doesn't exist. I don't think it's real. But okay, so hear me out. So there is no such thing as the present. There's only the past and the future, and the future hasn't happened, which means that there's only the past. So we're actually none of us are here right now. We're all either dead or we're all in like a hive consciousness or something's going on. Hear me out. And we're all just remembering when we did this. So this is what I call the living memory theory. This is my theory. I think about this when I do drugs. So we're all so what is the brain? So I don't believe in the soul. I don't believe in like the consciousness outside of the human experience. I believe everything that we experience is right in the brain. All right. So the brain, right, has memories. It writes information down and creates memories. Now, but we know that memory, not so good. We know that memory can be wrong. You can have a very clear-cut memory of someone wearing a yellow t-shirt, and then you look at a photo of that day, and they're wearing a blue t-shirt. And you're like, what the fuck? I swear to God, they were wearing a yellow t-shirt. So how is that possible? Like, witness testimony is one of the least reliable things. How is this possible? Okay, so hear me out. This is what I call the living memory theory. I think about this when I do drugs. Okay, so there is no present. So we're all dead. We're dead or dying. Those are the two options. We're either dead, and this is like an afterlife of some kind, or we're dying, and we are experiencing our lives in the memory, realm. So again, now you can have you can remember someone wearing that yellow shirt. You can see the yellow shirt. You even remember commenting on the yellow shirt. You're like, oh fuck, why is your shirt so yellow? Right? But that never happened. How is that possible? It's possible because the memory, the way the brain constructs memories, is they're like live performances, right? Like you know what the color yellow is. You know about shirts. You know shirts can be yellow or blue or green, right? And so the way your brain constructs memories is it just constructs all of those things and creates kind of like, a new representation at the time. So at the time you remember it, the memory is there right now. The memory, it's not like a file, right? That it's not like a photo, right? That it's taken and then it's left there, right? The memory is always actively forming, right? At all times. And so okay, so we're dead or dying, and we are just remembering our lives because what is the present? Like, the time I started doing this segment, that was the present, but that's not the present anymore. Now it's just the past. So what is the present? There is no present. There's no such thing as right now, or we're living in the past. So this is, now another thing, angle to this is that, again, when you're missing chunks of time, that's when we started. You don't know what day it is. Doesn't matter what day it is. Your brain only processes important information. Like for me, the day of the week doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, right? Because most of my days of the week are exactly the same, right? So for me, storing the information of what day of the week it is, I don't need it. So for me, that's just like irrelevant. Whenever you sleep, for those of you that don't know, I consider myself a sleep professional. Whenever you sleep, your brain dumps information. Now, I can even go further and say that whenever you sleep, you're actually dying and you're resetting, and like a new being is going into your, I can go a little bit. I'm a little skeptical of that theory, but there's some important info in there that could be relevant contextually. But okay, so why do I think it's, well, I mean, apparently it's Friday. According to reports, it's Friday. Let me just double check. Okay, so it's Friday. When you have massive chunks of time missing in your brain, it's because you don't need it. You don't need it. So anyway, this is what I think about when I'm on drugs. Your brain predicts what will happen next and fill in the gaps, then sends that info to your eyes. You're literally seeing fractions into the future. That's true. Asterisk. So this goes into the whole, there is no such thing as reality. It's just our interpretation of reality. Like, everything that you experience is not real. It's just your perception of the world around you. And so, that's why people see patterns that don't exist, because, their experience, they're seeing all these patterns. They're not getting a full dose of the real world. And so, the patterns are just, really what they are is just a way to fill in gaps of missing information. Anyway, so there you go. I don't know what day it is. All right, so doing a show today. Got a show going on. Folks, let's talk about some news here. So once again, I would like to say that whenever I cover these stories, I'm always praying for the best result. I'm not a religious person. Some of you may know this. I'm not a religious person, but some people are, and I respect their religion to the point where I pray. And so I want to cover an update to a story that I think I either covered yesterday or the day before. And again, yesterday or the day before, whenever I covered this, we all sat together in a moment of silence on my show, and we had a moment of silence, and we prayed for the best outcome, folks. We prayed for the best outcome. When we heard that 2 officers were in the hospital, everyone in my stream got together, and we prayed for the best possible outcome. And I would like to announce today that I believe in prayer, and prayer works. Police, second Joplin officer involved in shooting will not recover from injuries. Another officer in serious condition. So for those of you that don't know, an officer was shot and killed, and 2 officers were shot and hospitalized. And we all prayed for the best result here. So anyway, police say a second officer involved in a shooting Tuesday afternoon in Joplin will not recover from his injuries. Another officer remains in serious but stable condition. Police identified Jake Reed as the officer who would not recover from his injuries. I love how the police identified them. Like, what is that language? Like, just take can't you have a photo? Why do the police need to identify them? I don't know. It's just weird language. Like, this is a human being. This isn't like a fucking, Yu-Gi-Oh card and you're checking if it's, a reprint or a first edition. This is a human. You identified Jake Reed? That's a human. But anyway. Police say Reed is an organ donor and plans are underway for transplants. Oh, well, he's an organ donor. So think about it this way. This is, the way of the police, right? They spend their whole life killing people, and then when they get killed, their organs actually go to save people. It's a little poetic. On Wednesday, police identified Corporal Ben Cooper as the first officer who died in the line of duty. The suspect, identified as Anthony R. Felix, 40 of Joplin, also died in the incident. So the police, is it's like a murder-suicide scenario. On Tuesday, police responded to a disturbance. Again, don't know what the disturbance is. Outside a store. Okay, now we know. Okay, so never mind. There's actually more info here. A disturbance outside a store at the North Park Crossing Shopping Center. Investigators say 2 officers exchanged gunfire. Investigators say Felix stole a police car and fled. Before wrecking the car and fleeing on foot, officers chased him to a street near an apartment complex and residential area in central Joplin. Police say Cooper died from his injuries, and Reed will not recover after injuries in the altercation. Police say another officer, Rick Hirschley, was shot and injured but is considered in stable condition. Police say he or she encountered Felix as he was trying to steal another vehicle. Police say he or she tried to box in the suspect to prevent escape, but the suspect fired through a patrol car window and struck he or she. Investigators say he or she is facing challenges, but is expected to recover. Once again, folks, I would all like us to take a moment here and pray for the best outcome for he or she. We're really rooting for God on this one. Police say another officer identified as Captain William Davis fatally shot Felix near that area. Police say Davis left a position of cover. Joplin police released photos. Okay, so there you go. So now we know more about the disturbance. So this guy's dead, I guess. Is this guy dead? And this guy... Okay, so these motherfuckers are dead. And rip. So there you go. We're all praying for the best outcome here at the Above It All podcast and on YouTube. We're all praying for the best outcome for Officer Hershey, he or she, whatever the fuck their name is, who knows. So anyway, hopefully he or she is also an organ donor. If anyone wants to make that happen real quick while they're still alive, that'd be great. But there you go. Did you see the guy shot 20 times inside the ER? I don't know what that means. I'm actually not on any drugs today, for those of you that are asking, other than caffeine. Though I got really fucked up last night, so that I could be facing residual effects. That's crazy. I haven't seen that one. Folks, it's Friday. And what does that mean? It means it's the weekend. Yeah! Oh! Okay, so it's the weekend, folks. Doing a show here today. Got a weekend show. For the weekend, and we're doing it today to start off the weekend because we got a show going on. Smoked today a bit weed. Whoa, that's crazy. Remember Fukushima? Disaster ongoing 11 years after March 11, 2011. I do not remember Fukushima. I remember, but like what's going on now? What's the continual effects? Feel free to enlighten us, Mila. Oh, God. Woo! All right. So we've got some really important fucking news. Right now, we've got some really important news to talk about, to discuss. So, this weekend, because once again, folks, it's Friday, and you know what happens this weekend? Well, first of all, it's the weekend. Yeah! And second of all, daylight savings time. Congress weighs permanent daylight savings time in a debate as regular as clockwork. Yep, so Congress, federal Congress, as well as a bunch of state legislatures, are right now debating whether or not to make this the final time we switch our clocks. Now, I just want to say, whatever time it is, if it's now, like, before daylight savings time or standard time, whichever one, I don't give a shit. My problem is switching the clock. So if we switch the clocks now and this is the last time, I'm done. If we switch it one more time in November and then we're done, I'm good. So I just want to say, again, folks, daylight savings time coming soon. Didn't you cover this yesterday? Something new. This is a different article with more information. So, and you got to cover it. Well, I do. Well, you don't, but I do. A congressional panel on Wednesday debated whether to end the nation's bring forward or fall back daylight savings policy, citing the health effects of shifting the clock twice per year. Most agreed it was about time. Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah, fuck yeah! On Sunday, people in most parts of the United States will set their clocks ahead 1 hour so that darkness falls later in the day, a seasonal shift that is enforced by the federal government and will be reversed on November 6th. But more than 40 states, now for those of you that don't know, there are 50 states, so 40 is a large number, including Maryland. Thank you for letting us know that Maryland is included. Are considering changes to end the shifting, and federal lawmakers are weighing legislation that can make daylight savings time permanent. I'm telling you right now, if Democrats did this right before the election, they would win the election. I'm just saying. Health groups, including the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, have called for an end to the shifting, which was first adopted in the United States a century ago. Daylight savings time has been revised repeatedly by lawmakers, trying to strike the right balance, including a short-lived effort to make it year-round in response to the 1970s energy crisis. A pair of experts on Wednesday's hearing, convened by the House Energy and Commerce Committee Subcommittee on Consumer Protection, also testified that twice-per-year disruption-hurt sleep is linked to cardiac problems and others cardiac problems and presents other health and public safety risks. Again, there's more traffic accidents when clocks change and so forth. There's clear evidence that going back and forth not only affects adults with more heart attacks and strokes, but also affects our kids, particularly with teen sleep deprivation, said Beth Ann Mallow, a neurologist who serves as director of Vanderbilt University Medical Center's Sleep Division. Mallow said essential workers and students are the most vulnerable to health and sleep problems and warned that the time shift means people may be waking up to commute in dark hours. There's just no reason to fuck with it. That's just my thing. There's no reason to fuck with this shit at all. So, let's keep going. Okay, the hearing was intended to gather information ahead of possible legislation, lawmakers said, with Democrats and Republicans both signaling their interest in changing the policy and citing public support for doing so. Nearly 2/3 of Americans want to stop the twice-per-year clock change. 2/3. That's like, what, 60-something%, right? Nearly 2/3, right? So that's less than 66. I guess less than 67. We heard today that changing our clocks twice a year severely impacts our health, said Rep. Frank Pallone Jr., a.k.a. Jr., Dinge, who chairs the committee, and over the years, the science continues to get clearer that sleep is vital for our health and well-being. I haven't decided yet if I want daylight or standard, and I don't think we should go back and forth. But I don't, see, now this is where my position is. Either one, I'm down to debate that. I'm down to, like, I would say let's pass legislation that says that we stop changing our clocks and then do a national referendum on which, like, daylight or like daylight time or standard time. Do a national referendum, right, during the midterms. That's what I say, right? So pass legislation that says we're going to stop changing clocks as of 2023. So no more clock shifting. This will be the last year. And then we'll have a national referendum, every state, popular vote, daylight time or savings or standard time. That's how we solve this problem. Let the people decide. Congress's treatment of daylight savings time has sometimes been played for a joke, such as HBO's Veep, where an ambitious backbench lawmaker made ending it his top policy issue. I mean, it's a good policy. So, while Congress may control time, lawmakers and witnesses were still bound by it. That's a great statement. 48 states. All right, y'all. That's pretty big. So again, call your rep, call your senator. Tell them to end this disaster. This is my form of activism. I am telling all of y'all to call your motherfuckers and tell them to end the disaster that is switching to daylight savings time and back. Tell them to end it. And then also say that you heard it here on Above It All, starring Andrea Rovenski. All right. There you go. Daylight goddamn time. Yeah, if on January 6th they were trying to storm the Capitol to end daylight savings time, I'd be a lot more supportive. Anastasia, Anastasia, in response to what you said? Yeah! God damn. For those of you that don't know, I guess you just weren't here every other time I've said this, but I have a makeshift tripod for my camera that is composed of 3 items. 1 is a book, and 2 are video games. One of the video games is Rayman for the Sony PlayStation. So, there you go. Yeah! Y'all, I got a new segment. This is like a demo segment. A demo segment. The other game is Silent Hill 2. I got Woo! Is the stream buffering? Am I getting some buffering? I think you should use some of my funding for a real tripod. I don't need one though. Is the quality bad? I have like a tripod for like shooting anything outside, but like it's too big to fit on my desk, right? So no buffering. Okay, well, I thought I buffered. No buffering? Did someone say no buffering? Yeah! Alright, oh. Listen to your investors. Oh my god. The goddamn investors. I have fiscal responsibility. I am fiscally responsible. I'm stretching my back. Hold up. Oh my god. I'm stretching my back. Oh, fuck. Ooh. Holy crap. Wow. That is one hell of a back scratch. Let me drink some more coffee. Or back stretch. No, I mean, I wouldn't mind a scratch as well, but a stretch. Oh. Oh. Ah. Wait. Yeah. Okay, so tuned out during MPP story. Anything interesting? Yeah, go watch the video. It's good. It's really funny. All right, so we got a new segment. I'm doing a new segment. This is experimental. An experimental segment. So, I'm experimenting with the segment. So let's start this off, okay? So for those of you that don't know, I like video games. That's right. I'm a video gamer. I would classify myself as a video gamer, but I have a problem when it comes to video games. I don't know how to play new video games. I just can't do it. I don't know how. I only play the same video games over and over and over again, because I don't know, mental illness. I'm not sure. But either way, so I have a problem playing new video games. New video games scare me. But recently, a new video game was recommended to me, made by a studio that likes a video game that I also enjoy. That's, not, it's. But anyway, I'll get into the game in a second here. So, last night, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna drink an alcoholic beverage or 3. And I'm gonna get really high, and I'm gonna play a new video game. Like a game I've never played before. That came out in the last 10 years. So I decided, all right, I'm going to play a new video game, folks. So For those of you that follow me on Twitter, you probably know what game I was playing last night. I was playing a new game. So I started playing a video game called The Outer Worlds here. So I took some screenshots because this game is beautiful. So I decided to take some screenshots. So I want to share them. So look at this. Look at these flowers. This is amazing. So this is hashtag #MyGamerStory, folks. Hashtag #MyGamerStory. So this is made by Obsidian that made Fallout New Vegas. I love Fallout New Vegas. So a couple people recommended this game to me. A couple, like, I don't know, this game is like a couple years old. But anyway, so you're in outer space. Yeah, so whereas Fallout in space. So I'm in. So there was a bunch of like really cool stuff. I was like really high. Now again, I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm normally in the inner worlds, right? I'm normally stuck in the inner worlds. You know, the inner monologue, you know, the ego is controlling me. You know, I'm usually in the inner world, so I decided to go venture off into the outer worlds. Now again, huge Fallout New Vegas fan. As you know, I am transgender. So I was playing this game, which is, again, look, it has space mushrooms, and they're huge. I took a bunch of pictures of the space mushrooms. You know, I had a lot of fun. I played for like a couple of hours, folks. Hashtag #MyGamerStory. And so maybe if I play the game again, I'll share my progress here. So I stumbled upon this spaceship that has an artificial intelligence. I enjoyed it. It reminded me of the what was that dude? The house guy in New Vegas. So I took this screenshot. That's a shotgun. I found a shotgun. And there's more space mushrooms here. There we go. Look at these fucking giant space shrooms. These are like the size of my dog. Like, this is crazy stuff. This is super cool. Are the space mushrooms bigger than half an inch? I think so. I think they are bigger than half an inch. Look at how big these space mushrooms are. So then I found my way to this town here. Then this guy started talking to me. Said, look, you obviously ain't a worker. He knew I'm PMC. I got exposed for being PMC. So I go into the town. Look at the sky, by the way. The town looks nice. I find pasta on the ground, well, formerly containing pasta. Now, as you know, as an Italian American, I am very, very offended by the representation of pasta in the future. To me, it doesn't, like, the future universe where this takes place seemingly does not respect my people. And so that's a problem for me, but you know, I'll deal with that later. So I found myself into a bar, and they had like these cool like wall adverts. This is very much like Fallout New Vegas, where they've got like the kind of like retro future thing going on. I very much so enjoyed it. So I found some more space mushrooms in the middle of the town. I mean, this is an ideal situation. Imagine you walk outside and you go to the market, and the market's like just down the block, and then there's space mushrooms everywhere. Like, that's super cool. So then I was in an elevator. I found some more of those flowers. There's like a volcano in the distance. That was super cool. I love this game so far. Look at the sky. Like, I was just looking at the sky. Y'all, I got really high last night, let me tell you. So like half of this experience for me was just like looking at the skybox. Very fun. Then there's also this like magma going on. There's like a space rainbow or a ring. Is that like a ring on the planet that we're on? I don't know. Then there's that like rock thing. Like, what even is that? As you can tell, I was saving the game here, as you can see. So anyway, hashtag #MyGamerStory. I made it to the lab here. And I talked to some more people. This thing was super cool. I was staring at this, for like a solid 10 minutes. I was staring at this. For those of you that don't know, look at this one. Only you can protect fourth quarter profits. So we're in this like, you know, like capitalist corporate hellhole. Anyway, I'm into the game. More space shrooms, with the motion blur. So that's super cool. Anyway, so I was into the game. I had fun last night. Hashtag #MyGamerStory. I haven't really been playing new games really at all, so I'm gonna, you know, maybe if I play the game, I don't know when I'll play again, but whenever I play again, maybe I'll show some updates. But so anyway, so yeah, there was something to do with like a power generator. I don't know. I had to like, oh, here's some more space shrooms. Hold up, I found another picture. Look at these. Like, the thing about this that's amazing in this game is there's like fucking 10,000 different kinds of mushrooms. Like they're everywhere. There's so many different mushrooms. So like, you know, you got like the classics, you got like the fucking these kind, you know, there's a lot of different mushrooms. But anyway, I'm in like this power plant or some shit. I don't know. It's a cool game though. Cool game. But I just started. I'm only like 2 hours in. So, you know, maybe I'll make further segments, but I was very into the art. Let me tell you, I got you know, a little fucked up last night, a little bit. I just want to emphasize it was a very low amount of intake, but hashtag my gamer story, folks. Hashtag my gamer story. New segment, playing some new video games that have been released this millennium, and they're pretty good. So there you go. Outer Worlds is focused almost entirely on capitalism run amok. Because it's only played a little bit, Catherine. Jesus Christ. What are you trying to spoil the fucking game for me? What are you trying to spoil it? Why are you trying to spoil the fucking game? And also, I'm not trying to spoil the game. I don't know. I'm not trying to spoil the game. I was overcome with enjoyment of the space mushrooms. For sure. That was a lot of fun. Folks, I've got some news going on. There's like a lot. It's like the first thing you notice about it. I disagree. The first thing I noticed about it was the fact that it's set in space. That's the first thing I noticed about it. But you do you. It's all good. Wait. Huh? Apparently Elon Musk has another kid. What? Why? I'm gonna drink some seltzer. Such a dry mouth. So let's talk about the economic situation in the United States of America. Let's set the stage. All right, let's set the stage. Okay, so gas prices, $6 a goddamn gallon. That's crazy. I don't know. I don't drive a car. I work from home. But that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about working from home. A 2-year, 50 million person experiment in changing how we work. This is from the New York Times. The office was never one size fits all. It was one size fits some, with the expectation that everyone else would squeeze in. There you go. That's a good summary. So I just want to say, first of all, there's a goddamn deadly pandemic. A virus that is still killing thousands of people every day, infecting tens of thousands of people every day. Why are we going to the office? And by we, I mean other people, because I don't do that. I work from home. So not only that, we're still in the pandemic. I know people want to pretend like, oh yeah, if we just pretend the pandemic's over, then I mean, right? They're dumb as hell. Also, again, we're in an economic fallout right now with oil and gasoline prices at a record high. Maybe we should have invested in energy infrastructure like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, but whatever, we're dealing with those consequences. And so we're like, society's trying to force people back to the office while gas is like $6 a gallon or something. I don't know. I don't drive a car. And also it's just a waste of time. Like a commute is a waste of time. Renting office buildings is a waste of fucking time. It's a waste of money. And it's just, I don't know. But anyway, this is, New York Times is talking about this a little bit, so I'm going to springboard. Kristen Egziaber was all jitters just before the pandemic, awaiting news of possible raise until her manager came back dejected from his meeting with the higher-ups. I was presenting the case for you, he told her, and people were like, we don't really know, Kristen. We only know her work. What? Sure, her work. What else could be relevant to performance review? But this was exactly what had always irked Miss Egziaber about her office, where she served as a project manager for a Texas food chain. No matter her productivity, her colleagues seemed to care primarily about chit-chat. And what'd you do last weekend? Where'd you get that purse? Miss Egziaber, who is black, felt that her white coworkers were fixated on who was jostling for entry in their in-group. So, yeah, that's a big fucking problem, is like work in a lot of capacities, right? It's not about who does the best job. It's about who's fun to be around. And it's also, again, it's a way to manage people more effectively. Like if someone's a little weird, and weird could just, it doesn't even, they don't even need to be weird. It just means you could be the weird one. But if someone's a little different or they're not fitting in socially in the exact right way, it allows you to more easily discriminate against them. And again, having people in one office building also, it's weird. I don't know. Like, I don't want to be around people. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm autistic, but like, I'm not interested in that. So and it's like, why to work somewhere? Why do you have to be not only good at the job, but then you have to be like, you have to know all these secret social cheat codes. Like you have to be able to like, oh, this person scratched their left eyelid, so that means I'm able to interject with a joke that could be well performed, and then maybe I'll get a raise. Like what why like I never understood, like, why are jobs, why do they have like a social component to that? Why is that? It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's one problem for me. What does all that matter for my pay? She wondered. If we're being real, I don't care what you did last weekend. Remote work brought a reprieve. Several months into being sent to work from home, Miss got a promotion and an 11% raise. If I'd continued going to the office, she added, there might have been some excuse around likability. When one of America's earliest open-plan offices debuted in Racine, Wisconsin in 1939, women made up less than one-third of the country's labor force. The design of that early office, not so different from the ones that modern workers experience, fit the need of a particular employee, someone who could stay late because he didn't have to rush home to make dinner for his children, someone pleased to cross paths with the boss because it meant time to talk golf. Jesus, like Mad Men style. Like, I just can't with this shit. The office, in other words, was never one size fit all. It was one size fits some, with the expectation that everyone else would squeeze in. Office banter, for example, might have been a small annoyance for some segment of workers, but for many others, it amplified a sense that they didn't belong. Yeah. So again, you can read the rest of this, but I just want to springboard off of it. I read a little bit of this before, and they interview some decent people. But I want to talk about the concept of the fact that why, like, office buildings, like, again, you buy a building that could be used for housing, right? Like, it could be a house for homeless people, but instead it's an empty office building, wasting your air conditioning money, right? You go there, like, are people really more productive in an office? Like, I figure, like, okay, what is the real advantage of being in an office, right? Well, maybe, yes, some people are more productive together. Like, when you get, like, 5 guys in the room and they're all like, high on drugs and they're, like, trying to do something cool, right? But then, why don't you just go over, like, each other's houses? Like, what, like, make a play date or something. Why do you need an office building, right? Because most of the time, office buildings are just going to be distracting, right? They're just going to be distracting, right? And the only advantage is that, oh, well, we have some space for people to get together and have some brainstorming session. You can just do that at someone's house, right? You can do that over a fucking, like, Zoom call. You can do that on, like, Discord, It's just, like, I like all the benefits of office buildings. I don't buy any of them. And again, we're in this like situation where like, also, what does an office building require? You to buy a car. You need to drive to the office. So then you need a car, right? And again, there's this whole car society, the car-based economy that we live in, where everywhere and everything in society revolves around the idea that you need to drive there is a problem. And especially we're experiencing like gas is up like 700% for the average American. Like that shit was like $1 2 years ago, and now it's like $5 to $6. Some places I've seen like $7. I don't drive a car, so I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I'm unplugged from that. I'm just seeing screenshots online. But again, I don't understand this office thing. And again, we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Like you'd think this is the time where we restructure our society to be, a little less cringy. Like this is the time where people are stuck inside all day. They're thinking about how society is structured, what we need, what we don't need, what we could do better, what we could do worse. In my opinion, abolish offices, abolish cars, and abolish offices. Those are my two big things. Why do I need to drive somewhere to do something I can do at home? Why do I need to spend my gas money? Is like, again, if it's one thing, if your commute is covered by your employer, if they're paying for your time to drive there and they're paying for the fuel, but you have to buy a car, destroy your own car, like with using it, buying your own gasoline, which cuts into your pay, just to go to an office building to do something you could do at home. I don't know about that. That's just I don't buy it. And as someone who's on the spectrum, so I like the idea of going to work and being around people. Not a fan. Like, I mean, like, think about it. Like, think about all the people that just don't want to be around other fucking weirdos all the time. I had a fucking difficult enough time with that shit in fucking school. I don't want to go to the office and be around a bunch of fucking morons that are like fucking judging me and talking about golf. I don't fucking play golf, motherfucker. What the fuck do you think I am? What do you think, I'm a golf player? I don't play fucking golf. I don't know what that, like, I don't know, man. Like, if you want the office experience, watch Mad Men. And if not, then, you're a normal person. But anyway, fuck the office. That's all I wanted to say. This pandemic is not over. I don't, like, that's the thing, is like, people left the office, quote unquote, because of the pandemic. When people left the office, the pandemic is worse now. Think about that. So people left the office because of the pandemic. Every metric is worse. Every metric is worse. The contagiousness, worse by like 10 times. The amount of cases, worse by like 20 times. The amount of deaths, worse by like 100,000 times, right? Like, and yet now we're going back in the office. Like, what? Like, every metric is worse. And also, again, commute with cars and gas prices, worse. It's just, I don't know. I'm anti-office, so I just wanted to talk about that one. Springboard off of that. I'm anti-office. The new variant going around, like Northern Europe, not so good. Should I talk about the, No Me Key and a bunch of people got into some huge fights on Twitter that were really fun to watch? Does anyone want me to talk about that with fucking Max goddamn Blumenthal? That was a fun saga to read this morning. Oh God. Not huge, more silly. Oh, it was very silly. It was very silly. It was very silly. How can you not like the show? I've never seen it. Oh. I only use Twitter to retweet the goddamn and send you stories. I'm completely wrecked. Don't exercise. It's a scam. Oh no. Oh no. Motherfucker's wrecked. How have you never seen The Office? Good God. I am not a normal person. My experience in the world is different than other people. I know, it's shocking. I'm not normal either. I got boosted. Goddamn boosted. All right, let's talk about it. Let's get into the muck here. We're getting into the muck. All right, y'all. So there was some very, very fun and enjoyable, exchanges on Twitter.com over the last 30 hours maybe. And it all starts, I'm telling a story here and I've got my own take on it. So it all starts with Max Blumenthal walking around Washington, D.C., presumably, and harassing Ro Khanna. So this is where the story begins. So the Gray Zone tweeted this video out. Congress screws workers to escalate war on Russia. Max Blumenthal questions lawmakers on the rising cost to Americans of sanctioning Russia and the massive package of arms they authorized for Ukraine. So here he is walking around Ro Khanna. Now, Ro Khanna responds in the video, and then he tweets. And the tweet he makes actually is what spawned this giant, it's very fun. This is very, very enjoyable. And so anyway, let's start this. Let's watch this video. Ro Khanna looks very upset here. But anyway, let's listen.
Prices are already going up massively because of the sanctions. Inflation's going up, and that's all to fight Russia. I mean, that's the message Biden and his people are sending.
So first of all, inflation and gas prices are not going up because of Russia. Now again, the United States banned imports on Russian oil. That doesn't have an effect overnight, right? So that's just not a thing. Another aspect of this is what's really causing these price hikes is corporations price gouging Americans. They're taking advantage of the news. And they're just artificially raising prices. It has nothing to do with that. I mean, now again, is it related in some abstract context, where everything is related to everything? Absolutely. But to say that gas prices are skyrocketing because of Russia, I personally just disagree, because they've been steadily rising in price for the last 6 months. So I'm just saying. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Don't you think? I mean, do you think Americans? What skin in the game do Americans have for Ukraine?
Americans have the skin in the game to stand up for freedom, to stand up for human rights. We've always done that as a nation, and we. So
now this is again. I want to say I'm not here to defend Ro Khanna. His answer's not so good. America has skin in the game to stand up for freedom. I wish, like we've always done. Ask the 1 million plus Iraqi civilians how they feel, that have been murdered by the U.S. occupation and invasion. Ask them how they feel about, us bringing freedom and democracy. So again, if the United States was actually bringing freedom and democracy all across the world, that'd be cool. But that's not happening, right? That's just there's no evidence of that happening. Now I will also say that theoretically, this could be a springboard for the United States to stop being an evil, disgusting imperial superpower that's based around murdering innocent civilians across the planet, right? It would be great. It would be wonderful if this was the thing, that Russia's the big bad guy or whatever, and then the U.S. becomes, super cool and they start saving the world or something, like a comic book. Wouldn't that be great? I would love that. I'm skeptical of whether or not that's going to happen. But either way, it is undeniable that the United States has a horrible history when it comes to bringing freedom and democracy around areas. So I just want to say, bad answers so far.
Want to make sure that we stand up for Europe and NATO, and we stand up to bullies. I mean, people see on television Putin killing children, killing mothers. I mean, it's horrific. And we as an American...
So, now I just want to say, Max Blumenthal's garbage. Now, look, obviously, full stop. But standing up to bullies, Putin killed children. Yeah, well, last year, after, again, so there was an Afghanistan war. Biden pulled out of the war. After pulling out of the war, there was a drone strike that killed 7 kids in Afghanistan. A U.S. drone strike that killed 7 kids. So I'm just saying, as far as killing children is concerned, not only that, but what's going on in Yemen and other places, right? So the United States, not so good on the track record of treating children with respect. And so I just want to say, not so good. Now, I wish Ro Khanna would have given like a better answer here, but also, he's not like, Ro Khanna is not like a fucking super anti-war. Like his family is invested in war companies, right? So that's a problem.
We are the greatest nation in the world. We've always stood up for freedom. We stand up for human rights.
So raising inflation and raising oil prices for freedom.
I don't think that's connected. I think the reason that people are paying $5 at the pump and $6 at the pump is because these big oil companies are profiting billions of dollars.
Prices. So now the important part here, this is the important part. And, they cut this part close here. I wish Ro Khanna, now this is the good answer. This is what I was saying before. These sanctions, like oil and gas prices were increasing steadily over the last year, especially over the last 6 months. Right? So the idea, like the sanctions, they're going to take advantage of it. Inflation, they're going to take advantage of it. But the problem is corporate greed. So anyway, Max Blumenthal, this is part 1 of the story. This is just part 1 of the story. So in part 2, Ro Khanna tweets about this. So Ro Khanna, now this is a deleted tweet. So I had to look around for a screenshot of this tweet because Ro Khanna has since deleted this tweet. But again, this is part 1 of the saga. The far left's refusal to condemn the immoral and illegal Putin invasion is appalling. It is nihilistic relativism. Okay, I stand by my words, and this is change and reject Max Blumenthal and RT talking points where he's a contributor. I have human rights, progressive approach to FP. So this is the big problem. So this is where it starts. So again, I wanted to play the full context for y'all. Now we're getting into the real story here. Now this is where it gets fun. Okay. So Ro Khanna, as of this point, has deleted this tweet. So he did get backlash. He did get pushback. He has deleted the tweet. Okay, so I just want to be very fair to Ro Khanna here. He has since deleted the tweet. But the idea of calling Max Blumenthal far left is ridiculous. People have this, people that aren't far... I'm a far leftist. I consider myself the furthest left possible. If someone wants to debate me on any policy, on any position, on any, facts or whatever, any prescriptions for policy... I guarantee you I'm as far left as you could possibly get. I am not a liberal by any stretch. I am not a social democrat. I'm a communist. I'm an anarchist. I am the furthest left possible. Suck my dick, bitch. But anyway, Max Blumenthal is not an example of that kind of person. Max Blumenthal is an anti-U.S. propagandist. Now, again, I'm not even saying the propaganda is necessarily bad. I think propaganda for good things is a good thing. I think I want positive propaganda for universal health care programs. I want positive propaganda for ending the capitalist structure of society. I love and enjoy and cherish good propaganda. So I'm not using the term propaganda to necessarily be bad. But what he does is he does propaganda against the U.S. government. Now, again, the U.S. government has a big track record of being garbage. So most of the time when Max Blumenthal is talking about the U.S. government being garbage, he's usually right on the money. Let's be honest. Let's be real. But now we're in this new, situation with Russia invading Ukraine where just the blanket, bizarre, anti-U.S. talking points have gotten out of hand. Now, to be clear, Max Blumenthal has been out of hand for a long time. This guy, again, his obsession with Russia's perspective on foreign policy, his whole thing is like, well, the U.S. is bad, right? So therefore, Russia criticizing the U.S. is good. Therefore, Russia's the good guy. Therefore, defending Russia's invasion of Ukraine. I don't know. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Okay, it's crazy. But again, to call that far left is just ridiculous. Far leftists are against war. Far leftists are not just only against war when the United States does it. But the big thing here that caused a discussion online that I wanted to wade into, I don't know, is the fact that Ro Khanna called Max Blumenthal far left. He is not a far leftist. This guy is a right-winger. He's anti-vax. Max Blumenthal is anti-vax, anti-Medicare for all. He's anti-public health. He is against, a lot of very regular, left-wing policies. He promotes working with neo-Nazis. It's just, he's a very problematic guy. The gray zone is just typically garbage. But I want to say here, okay, the far left's refusal to condemn the immoral and illegal Putin invasion is appalling. This is not something that has to do with the far left. What this is are right-wingers getting paid to LARP as left-wingers. So that's what this is. This is a problem that I have been on top of since the Force the Vote thing started in December of 2020. It was very clear that there was a dividing, after the Democratic primary, it was very clear that there were a lot of left-wingers that aren't actually left-wingers, but they utilized the Bernie campaign and other progressive campaigns to kind of launch their branding exercises to pretend to be left-wingers, but they're actually just right-wingers or weirdo freaks. And that's the situation with Max Blumenthal. He's obviously been paid to be a weirdo freak. So anyway, I know this is a long recap here, and now we're finally getting into another fun part of the story. So Nomiki Konst tweets about this with a possible policy prescription and engages in an online Twitter battle with David Griscom and Matt Leck from the Left Reckoning show. And this is where it gets good. So Nomiki says, at what point is Congress going to look into these paid propagandists here to disrupt the left and push fascist conspiracies? Some of the funding has shown up on tax returns being funneled through journalism awards by Assadists. These guys are toxic and spreading disinfo. So now again, I want to be very clear. What she originally does is she quote tweets Ro Khanna talking about the far left. Now again, Ro Khanna deleted that tweet. So I believe he deleted the tweet because he realized that he probably shouldn't have used that term. But either way, the reflex to call anyone that you think might be a leftist the far left in the centrist posturing thing is just dumb. It's just dumb. In my opinion, we should not let these people claim the mantle of far left. And Nomiki basically, says that spot on. These people are not leftists. They are paid propagandists. Again, a lot of these people have been literally funded almost exclusively by Russian networks. And it's a huge problem. So anyway, David Griscom responds to this. Now, again, I just want to, this is just really fun. I'm we're channeling the progressive voice here. So let's just go in. Jesus Christ. You want to encourage Congress to investigate journalists and media operations that they don't like in this climate? When the White House is publicly condemning DSA and anti-war activists? That's not just wrong. It's dangerous. So, in my opinion, this is an overreaction to what Nomi is saying. In my opinion, right, the fact that Ro Khanna, someone who's supposedly on the left flank of Congress, now again, he's not like a squad member, but he likes to fashion himself as a progressive, okay. These people should understand something about the media landscape that helps get them elected, in my opinion. Right? There are people that are, in left-wing spaces that are clearly agent provocateurs, and it's weird that not that many people realize that outside of these spaces. People love to consider someone like Jimmy Dore a far leftist. Jimmy Dore's not a far leftist. He's a right-wing sycophant, right? So again, we need to understand, all Nomi is asking for here is that people in Congress that supposedly represent the left know that these are not leftists, right? So that's basically all she's asking for, but David Griscom overreacts, in my opinion. But let's continue reading. No. This is about money laundering. You think it's okay for Eurasian-aligned oligarchs to be funding disinformation? It's not about reporting. There isn't any, to be honest. It's about oligarchs weaponizing these entities. And again, I feel like these folks are having two different conversations here. So I don't want to necessarily cast any aspersions on David here. per se, but I feel like they're just having two different conversations. Yeah, no, Mickey, if you think the U.S. fucking Congress is a good group to start searching for disinformation or money laundering, you are dead wrong. This is the shit that gets anti-war voices put in prison. Now, I want to be very clear on this anti-war thing. Now, again, I consider myself anti-war. I think everyone is anti-war. I think most people, I mean, yes, maybe some people that have directly benefited in weapons manufacturing are pro-war, right? But most people here are anti-war. But to say that, like, you know, we're talking about the context of Max Blumenthal, right? Like, why David Griscom feels the need to bring in, like, all anti-war activists on the subject of Max Blumenthal is bizarre to me. Someone who's clearly supporting Putin's invasion of Ukraine, right? If you want to talk about anti-war, you know, people in a different context, that's great. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about Max Blumenthal. We're talking about Gray Zone. We're talking about these people that have literally been documented to accept foreign money. And it's not necessarily a problem. To accept foreign money, but it's a problem when you accept foreign money and then whoopsie doopsie, you're all completely aligned with all of the foreign money's talking points, right? So Nomiki then responds, so question, do you believe Congress should do anything about big tech? Have you given up on government? I don't understand your point. Tech is a weapon right now being used by wealthy interests. Just throw your hands up. David then responds, do what about big tech? Not only is the initial call ridiculous, but these vague terms, do something about big tech, stop your Asian money laundering, are very worrying when you are calling for the government to do something about outfits you don't like. Now, again, this is another problem here about outfits you don't like, is I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't watch David Griscom and Matt Leck's show. You know, I stopped watching at a certain point in 2020, to be honest. So I don't know what their stances are on this kind of stuff, but this isn't an outfit that you don't like. It's one thing, like if I don't like someone and I think they're an honest actor, that's a different thing between someone who's getting money by getting paid by a foreign government that is currently invading another sovereign country and then repeating that foreign government's talking points. That is a different thing, right? Dishonest actors versus honest actors, that we need to draw a line somewhere. Max Blumenthal and the Gray Zone are not honest actors just getting it wrong. If someone on YouTube who has got like 7 subscribers, you know, who like fell for Force the Vote but no one knows who they are and they're just dumb, right? And they're blogging about like how like Putin's cool or something. Like, should we send the government to investigate no, right? They're just wrong. They're an honest actor. They're just wrong and they're being manipulated. And that's a problem. But when you have outlets like the Gray Zone or Jimmy Dore, those are not honest actors. Those are dishonest actors. So again, it's not about disagreeing with them. It's not about, oh, I don't like those outfits. It's that they are dishonest actors, and that is something that we need to have a broader conversation about. So then Nomiki says, there have been literally dozens of hearings on all these things, non-transparent algorithms, Bannon's working with Dugin and oligarchs backing their work. You act like this isn't in the ether already. So now again, then there's another part. Then David Griscom's co-host Matt Leck gets involved. So this is fun. I feel like I'm TMZ right now. This is great. Now I want to say Nomiki has one of the best positions that I've seen. Outside of myself, obviously, I'm right on everything, and I have groundbreaking commentary and everything. But as far as me, which of course I'm right on everything, Nomiki has one of the best points when it comes to how tech is being used and manipulated by the wealthy. Now, this is something that I've said for a while. Now, look at the capitalist hellhole that we live in, right? A lot of people, right, like Jimmy Dore, for example, right? A lot of people are used to just, you know, streaming and getting paid to stream. And, you know, when people do like say and do certain things and they get a lot of money for it in the streaming world, they're more likely to say and do those things, right? So that's like the Jimmy Dore thing, right? So Jimmy Dore got paid by a lot of people to start supporting like Tulsi Gabbard and stuff like that. He completely turned his back on the Medicare for All movement. And then he started getting paid to pretend to be in favor of Medicare for All. He started getting paid to do like the Force the Vote stuff. And when I say getting paid, I mean a bunch of mostly right-wingers paid him to be a douchebag, right? And that's what's going on with the Gray Zone as well. Right-wingers, right, and foreign governments like Putin, right, and the Kremlin, and also rich right-wingers like Steve Bannon and so forth. They give these people money, right? Now, again, this is like, You don't need to have like the fucking tax receipts to see this stuff. You just see the talking points. Why is it that Jimmy Dore's talking points align 1-to-1 with Putin, align 1-to-1 with Steve Bannon? It's interesting. And if they're not aligned, then why doesn't Jimmy Dore comment on that? Why doesn't he change his positions? Right? So we need to understand that like people are watching this. Like people see the power of left media when it comes to AOC getting elected. AOC would not have been elected without left-wing media. Right? So people have seen, there are rich people that pay attention to this stuff. They see the power of left-wing media. So what they do is they pay a bunch of people and try to, cause this division, to cause people to hate each other, to basically destroy the left movement. And that's been happening all throughout forever. That's been happening forever. So anyway, Nomiki just she points that out a lot. And she does a really good job at doing so. And again, we're talking about Max Blumenthal here. We're not talking about someone that we disagree with. We're like, who's an honest actor. This isn't like a noble disagreement among friends. We're talking about the gray zone. Like, this is why this whole argument is so bizarre. But anyway, Matt Leck responds, this is like, I don't know, man. This is like snitch culture, like in the thousands of rankings. Why would you like quote tweet publicly like a friend saying, why did you like this tweet that was critical? Like, this is like, I don't know, man. This is so fucking silly to me. I can't, but I'm commenting on it anyway because it's entertaining. Why did you like this tweet? Are we being laundered Eurasian oligarch money? Or is this just jokes to you? Like the fact that Matt and Nomi, who are apparently friends, I assume that they're friends. They work on the same shows, right? Like, why is this in public? Why is this happening, like, in public? I don't know. It's just strange. It's weird for me. It's just really weird to watch. But I'm doing my TMZ progressive voice style breakdown. Let me be aggressively clear. I'm not happy with oligarch spending on media, Eurasian or otherwise, but the solutions you propose are short-sighted. So Nomiki liked an obvious joke tweet. Sounds like someone's worried about his Wagner group rubles dying up. With an emoji. This is not something you tweet publicly about a friend. I'm sorry. Like, if my friend was like, I don't know. It's weird. This is weird to me. I don't know. I'm just saying it's strange. But, to me, I read this as a joke. Okay. But whatever. So then Matt continues, beyond the idea we'd empower Congress to investigate disruption of the left, let me say, Nomiki, I 100% am more concerned about the total effect of anti-left neo-McCarthyites you speak for than I am people being exposed to several outlets transparently favorable to Putin. So then we have this, this is fucking, Brian is getting involved in the discourse. I'm sorry, man, but this is great. This is amazing. Why is this happening? I don't know. Also, isn't like Matt Leck on vacation in like fucking Spain or some shit? Didn't he say that? Isn't this guy supposed to be enjoying his fucking vacation? So anyway, then Matt posted a tweet from Brian, #gettingdown, saying, at Nomiki, how much time have David Griscom and Matt Leck spent covering Bannon and Dugan on Left Reckoning? I have a feeling about as much as Rising, Breaking Points, Bad Faith, Useful Idiots, and Red Scare have around 0 minutes. Too busy marxing. Now again, if you don't know who this person is, Brian, he gets very deeply involved in the Twitter drama, and I enjoy it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be real. A lot of people don't like Brian. I like Brian. I enjoy the beef. It's fun. It's fun for me to watch as an entertainment piece. This is extremely fun, and it's good criticism. Left Reckoning should be discussing this subject more, and they shouldn't be afraid of it. I'm just saying, like, they should, yes, they should be, discussing it more, but, that's just my opinion, so I agree with Brian on this one. But anyway, the anti-left neo-McCarthyites you speak for, I don't, like, is Brian an anti-left neo-McCarthyite? This sounds like something that, like fucking... This literally sounds like Aaron Mate. Like, I 100% am more concerned about the total effect of the anti-left neo-McCarthyites you speak for than I am people being exposed. Like, what is Matt like on? Is he doing drugs or something in Spain and like he like forgot that this is the real world? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, but it's very interesting. So let's keep going. McCarthyism was about communism. Let's be clear. And that is not me. You have some, and that is not me. Like, that's like also McCarthy was originally about fascism and communism. So then Nomiki says, as my mentor. So anyway, so this is, that's irrelevant. I don't know why any of this was publicized, but I found it really funny. And so my grand takeaway here. So now that I've given you all of the scoops, all of the drama, all of the drams, now it's time for my takeaway. You ready? Now again, the biggest brain, let's be honest, right? The biggest brain in the world, right here. Okay, so first of all, social media, right? Twitter is a bad website. Twitter promotes the idea that you react. It's an inherently, fundamentally reactionary website. The way Twitter works, like, why did Matt Leck decide to quote tweet Nomiki instead of DMing her? Why was that decision made? Oh, for the likes, for the dopamine rush of getting the likes, for the discourse, because David Griscom got involved and he's defending his co-host or whatever against another co-host. But why is any of this public? This could all have been solved with a Zoom call. Like, they could have all gotten on the phone together and had this conversation. But why was it done in public? It's because social media is garbage. People, when you only have X amount of characters, you can't, like, write a book about all the caveats and all the nuances, right? And so there's a lot of missing context. So Nomiki was talking about Max Blumenthal in the gray zone. Then David Griscom, for whatever reason, decided to make a broader conversation about, like, just, oh, well, what if they did this against anti-war voices? Like, what? I mean, we're talking about the gray zone, dude. Like, unless you're saying that the gray zone is an anti-war voice or an outlet, I don't even know. It's strange. It's strange. So, like, every layer. Now, notice how there's, like, so many tweets here, right? So I did this whole multi-part story. Every layer of this is more context removed, right? So this is the original, right? Ro Khanna is being harassed on the street by the gray zone, right? And then Ro Khanna tweets about it, and then Nomi tweets about it, right? And then David responds, and then Matt responds. Every single layer, there's missing context. Context is being removed, and then new people are being introduced to the conversation of various steps. Now, this is what creates Twitter being a horrible website, is people, they jump in the conversation, they don't read all of the context, and they just don't know what the fuck's being discussed. They just don't know what the fuck anyone's talking about. But then everyone wants to get involved, and then the dopamine rush of getting the likes. Again, why quote tweet this? And also, who cares if Nomi likes a random joke tweet? Who cares? Who cares? Like, I mean, seriously. Who cares? This is so embarrassing. And I just want to say, like, to me, my reading of this is Nomi pretty much owns everyone here, but like, what is the concept of an own? Like, why does someone need to own on Twitter for, I don't know, like, the whole thing is just, it's so demented, utterly. But again, yes, should Congress know more about big tech, the government, money laundering, through social media? Yes, they should know more. Do I necessarily trust the government to handle those things effectively? No. Now, again, I don't think that Nomi or David or Matt, or I don't think any of them disagree with each other. It's just that they're all having separate conversations. They're all having separate fucking conversations, and it's very frustrating to watch. It really is. But again, I just want to say, note, by the way, that all of these people, supposedly friends, are yelling at each other on Twitter because the gray zone said some stupid shit to Ro Khanna, and Ro Khanna called the gray zone far left. Like, I just want, like, let's zoom out and look at the context that started all this. I mean, it's pretty factually true that Putin would want to invest money in destroying anti-war movements and destroying left-wing movements, that American billionaires and oligarchs would want to invest money in destroying left-wing movements, and this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Right, because social media is already a part of everyone in this culture's brain, right? They don't know how to communicate with each other because the way social media works is it overwrites your ability to speak like a normal person, right? You cannot speak like a normal person on social media, right? So then you forget how to do that. You forget that, oh, right, this is the person that I've known for 10 years and I've worked with for, like, a long time, right? You just forget that. Oh, I've been, so you just forget, oh, this is a real human being that I'm talking to. And what, like, the snitch, I mean, like, the snitch tweeting, this is so embarrassing to me. But anyway, the grand thing is, yes, should Congress know what the fuck they're talking about? Absolutely. And I think that's really what the crux of what Nomiki is saying. Congress should know better. Ro Khanna should know better than to call someone like Max Blumenthal far left. The guy's clearly an agent provocateur, and that's obvious by now. People should know that. And so, I don't know, man. People just love to have their, like, grandiose, like, you know, people love to misinterpret. People love to strip context away from things. It's fascinating to me. It's fascinating. Like, I don't even disagree with Matt or David. I don't think that the U.S. government is the best suited to decide who and who isn't disinformation outlets. That said, they should be investigating. Like, they should be doing their best. We should have people in Congress that are capable of figuring this stuff out and having well-reasoned takes on them. We should have, and that's what we should advocate for, and that's what Nomi is advocating for. Right? It's not like, the idea that, like, Nomi is going to say Congress should investigate where the gray zone is getting money from, and then they're going to have, like, Ted Cruz lead the investigation and then declare left reckoning disinformation. Like, I don't know what future that these people are thinking is going to happen. But anyway, all I wanted to do was comment on this because, again, social media is a mind virus. It rips people apart, and it's a context remover. Again, every layer of quote tweeting is removing context. Yes, quote tweeting is about retaining context. Kurt in the chat, I thought the point of quote tweeting was to retain context by including the original tweet. Am I wrong? That's the point, maybe. But when you see a quote tweet, are you really going to look in, read all of the thread? And again, also note that in this tweet, Ro Khanna's tweet was deleted, right? So now the quote tweet chain has been broken, right? So the context just gets further and farther away. And the more farther and further away it gets, the less likely the average person is going to read all of the context. And so they're just like yelling at each other about stupid shit that doesn't matter at all. Like none of this matters at all. They pretty much agree completely. It's just that it's whiny garbage. And then this tweet, I'm sorry, like, you know, I typically like Matt Leck, but this is like the worst tweet I've ever seen in my life. Like publicly quote tweeting, like making a big fight. Hey, Nomi, why did you like this tweet? Like, bro, please shut the fuck up. It's a joke. Settle down. Please settle down. Like, isn't Matt Lett on vacation? Like, bro, like, enjoy your fucking vacation. Like, sip on a fucking alcoholic drink while you're fucking, like, floating in a pool on an inflatable tube thing or something. Like, fucking, like, why are you, like, it's so strange to me. It's so strange. But anyway, I just wanted to say, I think what Nomi was advocating for got lost in the sauce. And that's unfortunate because she has a very good point. People should be, whether it's Congress, whether or not it's Congress, people in Congress should be able to understand what's going on. People in Congress, like it's one thing for a right-winger to call Putin a communist because they don't know jack shit about anything. But someone who claims to be a left-winger or a progressive like Ro Khanna should understand the difference between the gray zone and the actual far left. They should understand what these words mean. And I think it's a good thing to push people that are progressive in that direction. It's good that Nomi is trying to get Ro Khanna to understand what the gray zone is. That's a good thing. And it seems that Ro Khanna got the message because he deleted his tweet. So I'm just saying, that's a good thing. We should be pushing the people in Congress that represent us, the squad, so-called progressive caucus members, right? We should be pushing them to learn more about left-wing media, left-wing ideology, what people actually want, how to discern between disinformation outlets, so forth, right? And so that's a good thing. I don't know why like David and Matt are so against that, but I'm going to assume it's just misinformation. But it's very fun to watch. Anyway, what was this, a 30-minute segment? Classic. Another one, another banger. Another goddamn banger? Yeah! So anyway, Bodan, you did the classic thing where you like jump in like 5 minutes away from the end and then think you know the whole context. Yeah, like that's not, the problem is not that he didn't understand the joke. The problem is that it's a public tweet with like thousands and thousands of followers. Like that's the problem. It's like if you have a problem with a friend, solve it in private, you know? Solve it in private. That's the recommendation. But anyway, you know, I have a respect for everyone involved except for Max Blumenthal in the gray zone. So that's I think the ultimate point there. It's Bitcoin Cash time. What's Bitcoin Cash at? Bitcoin Cash at a cool 286. The Biden admin is briefing dozens of TikTok stars about the war in Ukraine. What the fuck? That's crazy. Goddamn Bitcoin. Goddamn Bitcoin. Folks, that's pretty much the show for today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. I think it's a mess, y'all. I think social media is a mess. I think we're all losing it. I may make mistakes too, I admit. Thank you, Bodan. Let's go, Bodan. I agree. It is, I want to say, as far as the previous segment is concerned, Ben Burgess also got involved, and I chose to not acknowledge them at all. Ben Burgess was like echoing what David was saying and tried to get involved in the conversation. And I'm going to be honest, it was a little... Like, Ben Burgess has been doing that thing with, like, oh, we can't talk about January 6th being bad because if we do, then the government will pass, like, a second Patriot Act and then anti-war journalists will be thrown in jail. Like, I don't know, that seems like there's, like, an IDW adjacent strain going on with Ben Burgess. And I don't want it to be the case that that's applying to David or Matt Leck. I hope that that's not the case. But I genuinely, as an IDW expert, I genuinely feel like if you feel like you can't talk about certain things because what if the government watches my show and then bans me from the world because I said something? I don't know, man. It's weird. It's weird. It's strange. It's very strange. But anyway, that's the show. That's the program. Yeah, everything that, like, they worry about is, like, a thing that already happens. That's... I don't know, man. It's strange. It's definitely strange. Because, you know, I would assume that Matt and David are typically a little bit more intelligent than that. But, you know, what are you going to do? Yep. I gotta force the goddamn film. It's true. Hopefully everyone's enjoyed the program today. How are the grocery stores, Bodan? I've been seeing a lot of images online of grocery store shenanigans. What's your experience? Folks, maybe I'm going to play some more Outer Worlds later. Play some new goddamn games. I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch, I've never seen a single episode of Left Reckoning. I stopped watching when the tragedy occurred. But I mean, I wish them for the best, you know? But I don't watch as much online content as I used to. I watch the Majority Report. I've been getting back into that lately. But even then, I don't watch it as much as I would otherwise. I wanted to take a picture of the shelves half empty because there are a lot of stranger people in the region moved from the east. Yeah, that's one of the things. It's like, you know, like refugee crisis is not just in like Poland, right? Like it's in the western parts of Ukraine. People are just slowly moving over and it's causing a bunch of hiccups. That's the program. I guess I'm still here. But I could be leaving soon. I could be leaving soon. In fact, I am leaving soon. The show is going to be over very shortly. But, you know, sometimes people like to have their last-minute comments. Tomorrow, the program will be live. In 24 hours from now, I should just say that. 24 hours from now, the program will be live. Were you supposed to leave? Who was supposed to hang up the phone? That's my question. You know what? I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm hanging up.
Unbelievable.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico. Eight months after his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people, and, you know, I think...
But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines, and that they're defective devices.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes. Those